going to take this off because let me explain why, and Caroline and a lot of people go to it to become transparent. We keep on saying the more you give, the more you receive. Do you understand how it works? In the Chinese section, I just explained it. If this is your magnetical, which is giving, and this is your gravitational field, which is taking, gravitates. The more you give, which is give away, the more you open the field of gravity to receive. That's simple. And the more you receive, the stronger the mass becomes. That you have more to expose to receive more. That's simple it is. So when you give the intention to serve universal community, the more you're exposed to receive from the dimension you're not aware of. So then it's very easy to create a spaceship for any dimension in the universe. If you understand this, and the unconditional give to humanity is love. When you love someone, when you love your child, you give unconditionally. It doesn't matter what he does, because this is your job. This is how you're born to be. So the more you give of a lower strength, the more gravitational field to attract to receive is available. This is then becomes what we call, you become transparent. If you put that level in that level, because you receive enough to become transparent. Because you're only aware of the field when you have a different imbalance. When you become imbalanced, you are of the same. So when we talk about giving and taking and loving, all it means, we open the channel to give. And then you find out how much you open up, the more you give. Because the more fields are available for you to receive. You gravitate, because now the other fields, which have their essence in giving, they give of the higher strength of them, because now they are there to engage with what you released for giving. And you see, so easy. So you cannot lose, you always win. Then you wish to be part of bigger society to serve. Human society has a limitation. The spaceship is a terminology for joining a higher order. Why do you want to go from home to school? To get educated, to elevate your knowledge. Why does man is in the process of entering universal community? Because now is ready to learn more. Because is learn more, you can share more. If any of you understand this process, you have entered the realm of creation. Because then you decide what you want to create in according to justice and correct conduct. So when next time you start thinking about creating a plasma, teaching. The more you teach, the more you receive. Because when you share, your openness to receiving of the totality from every aspect. When we teach here, we don't open to the humanity, we open to universal community. And that's what it counts. This morning or today, I explain in a very, very easy way how, as a human race, when you go into space, in every part of the universe, you are connected to each other through the amino acid connection. One feels in danger or something is wrong in the condition, the rest of you across the universe feels. But on the other hand, as I explained this morning, you itself, the earth and a human being of it, was created from the totality of the universal community. That's how it came to be, because that's what it came to stand. So now you're connected to universal community. The more you give, the more you elevate to the next step to understand the next level. A lot of you look for space travel. In time, you'll understand. Only thing you learn from me is the elevation of the soul to the realm that you decide, due to your interaction, where you want to be in anywhere in the universe. So, as I said this morning in the teaching, you have the blood, you have the lymph, and you have what they call the current or nerves. And the flow of the plasma of the emotion which carries the blood to physicality, which is in the lymph, decides what is going to be where. A cell of a heart, as we said this morning, or a cell of a nail. So now, as we explained, in the universal condition, the gravitational magnetic field of the plasma of the universe is your lymph. The emotion is your intention. And the difference between the two, if you can direct it the right way, instead of being a cell in the nail at your tip of your toe, there'll be a point in a photo of physicality in a space. Because then you manifest yourself as the being. At that point, what was? The only difference is you replace the body of the man with the body of the universe. There is no difference. You dictate the point of manifestation. You dictate the way you want to manifest. You want to manifest transparent as a lymph, or you want to be a transparent as the cell which creates the retina of your eye, that it becomes transparent enough that the light goes through it, that through it you can understand your environment. So man, if he's looking for transparency, has already learned it. When you look to the eye of a man, you see through his face, through his emotion, because you see through his soul, through his eye. So man already knows in his gene how to be transparent. That's what Caroline was speaking. If in your eye there wasn't a transparent issue, no light would have gone through that you could see. It's you to understand how transparent you become, that you allow the totality of the light of the man to pass the body embodiment of the physicality. Then you decide where and how you manifest yourself. As I said in the teaching of this morning, what you call a spaceship is for those who understand this level of understanding of physicality. If you understand the order of correct conduct, you do not need a ship or any form to travel the span of the universe. So, do we need health, medical care in space? when you know how to control everything yourself through the strength of the plasma, through your thoughts, which, as we said in the Chinese teaching, your emotion in connection with your soul has already dictated your physicality, because the physicality led to the creation of the emotion and the soul itself. It's not teaching control of physicality, what you call health. It's teaching the exact amount of emotion to lead to the creation of the physicality the way you want, if you want to be physical. So this goes back to the same thing. You add to the plasma of your magnetical, you become, because this is your physicality, that's how you manifest in respect to outside. If you want to be less of, you go back. And you can always add through your energy to become transparent or non-transparent. In respect to the environment which you are operating. In space technology, you learn this. I've spoken this before. You're there, you can be seen. If you create the wrong strength, you'll be more visible. If you create the right strength, as there is no friction between your gravitational magnetic field and the environmental gravitational field, there is no manifestation. There is no physicality. We are aware of the existence of the Earth in respect to Sun, because the gravitational magnetic field of the Sun, where it interacts with the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth, being of two different strengths, creates a friction, we see the light. If we make these two the same, there is no interaction, no visibility. You'll never see the Earth till you hit it. Now you know how to make yourself invisible. Now you know how to make yourself visible. Understanding that you have to create that what we call equal gravitational magnetic field between the two, because this is MAGRAV. If your MAGRAV is equal to the MAGRAV of this, there is no interaction, there is no friction, there is no transparency. There is nothing to see, totally transparent. This is how you can see through and across the universe, because the fields are all in balance. So there is no friction. Very small residual is in book number 3, or number 2, the structure of the light. That the balance or near balance of the magnetic gravitational field of the universe gives us enough light that it creates, but transparency that we can see through it. So you can do the same. Create enough, release enough, and you can control it with your emotion, nothing else. Because you, through your emotion in the center, decide how much you release that at the point of interaction, what appears. If this appearance at this point can lead with a cancer in your lung, you just need to move a little bit higher or lower in emotion. The interaction does not take place. No physicality, tangibility. This is what I said. Within seconds, you can release any illness, because all you do with the intention, you release into the whole field of existence. You change the envelope of the whole structure. Only cancer can be if the environment allows it in interaction with itself to exist. If you change the environment, it cannot exist. If you desire to leave the physicality, I cannot stop you. But its desire is to be physical and be here. You can always change the wish, the emotion, and with it will change the structure. You can point it out. I've said in all the teaching, for this structure to be inside you or outside you. And if you can do it outside you, then you can position it the way you like. If physicality of acceptance to use a spaceship, you build your system. The only way you do this is to give unconditionally, and the unconditional is what I create is a purpose of serving and not to be served. And that's what maybe for the first time you understand what we've written under the Keshe Foundation. We are here to serve, not to be served. Because when you serve, the more you give, and by giving, the more you receive. That with that, you can change the strength that you can give more to reach the level of the Creator. Then there is no illness in space. No one in space dies of illness except man. Because you have chosen a specific strength of gravitational magnetic field which attaches themselves to the emotion. In space, everyone dies. Accident or decision to terminate, to give to the others that I do not want to have any. We don't die in a space because we don't ill with cancer. We terminate a life because what we do, we convert the whole of our gravitational into magnetical, which means we only give for the others to exist, and that's the termination of life. You decide to stay 1 million years or 10,000 years is your decision. When you feel you reach the point of maturity that you can give the totality, you decide to let the spring go. That's it. And then you find out through it, you create new life. I made man to the image of myself. And then you understand one of the 99 attributes of the Creator is to be generous, to be forgiving, and to be the giver. Because by giving from the totality leads to creation of new structure, new life. But then through it, it creates the same structure, because once you give, you have to take. This is what we say, the more you give, the more you receive. Then you decide the point of physicality. Maybe for the first time, man understands some of the attributes of God through the operation of the plasma. You are afraid of dying on this planet, where in space we give to have no existence that will lead to creation of more. And here, because you're afraid of dying, you die of it because you want to hang on to all of it. And unfortunately, all is not good enough. This is what say unconditional love. It means to release that where you release the interaction of the fields of different strength of giving leads to creation of another life, another plasma, another existence, and further the purpose of serving the universal community. Maybe for the first time you understand. When you hear, I made man in the image of myself, it means I've given the totality for creation of more to be able to give. Any question? You never die, ever die in the space of any disease. Disease is a pitfall man which is connected to his amino acid and his greed to take more. Any question?